All right, let's just jump right in. You know that feeling, right? You send out an invite, maybe a text, saying, come on over. And then this immediate wave of dread washes over you. You're suddenly thinking, oh no, what have I done? If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone. Today, we're diving into the psychology of why so many of us secretly, or hey, maybe not so secretly, hate hosting.
I mean, seriously, think about it. If the idea of meeting up in a random, kind of sketchy parking lot feels genuinely less stressful than just having a friend over to your place, well, you're in the right spot. This isn't just some weird quirk you have. It's a clue that points to something much, much deeper going on inside.
And here it is. This is the core idea we're going to unpack together. That feeling you get, it is not a social failing. It doesn't mean you're a bad friend. It's a primal, totally understandable need to protect the one and maybe only space on this entire planet that is perfectly calibrated just for you. It's about self-preservation, not a dislike of people.
So let's get right to the heart of it, your home. It's so much more than just four walls and some furniture, isn't it? It's your ecosystem. It's a carefully constructed environment designed for your well-being. And when a guest comes over, it's not just about tidying up some clutter. Oh no, it goes way deeper than that.
This is such a critical distinction. A couple of books on the floor, some dishes in the sink, that's just mess. You can deal with mess. But another person in your space, that changes the entire rhythm, the sound, the very air of the place. That is disruption. And that's what our nervous systems are actually reacting to. You know, there's actually a name for this. Psychologists call it environmental comfort. It's that feeling when you walk through your own front door, drop your bags, and your whole body just exhales. It's that feeling of relief because everything is just right. It's a baseline of peace you might have spent years, even decades, creating. And we're talking about the tiniest details here. It's about knowing exactly where your favorite mug is without even looking. It's the throw blanket on the sofa that's molded perfectly to your body. It's the familiar, specific hum of your refrigerator. It's a space that's been optimized, consciously or not, for your personal well-being. A guest, no matter how wonderful they are, just changes all of that.
And this leads us to another really important idea: environmental mastery. This is all about control. It's the ability to know that your space supports you, that it allows you to be your truest, most authentic self without performing for anyone. When you host, you temporarily give up that mastery. And for a lot of us, that feels deeply, deeply unsettling.
Okay, so on top of losing your comfort and your mastery, there's a whole other layer to this. You're also taking on an incredible amount of invisible labor. Seriously, the sheer mental work that goes into hosting is absolutely staggering. 7,000. That's what it can feel like. One source actually calls hosting the 7,000 micro tasks disguised as having people over. And isn't that just perfect? It's not one big task like make dinner. No, it's 1,000 tiny decisions and jobs all cascading at once.
In psychology, this is called cognitive load. So think of your brain like a computer with a limited amount of RAM. Hosting is like trying to run a complex video game, a photo editing program, and 100 internet tabs all at the same time. You're timing the food, managing conversation, anticipating needs, monitoring the vibe. Your brain goes into total overdrive, and you're exhausted before anyone even rings the doorbell.
And here's what that invisible to-do list actually looks like, right? First, you gotta perform the guest clean, which is a totally different forensic level of cleaning. Then, you're suddenly running a full-service beverage hotel, offering 17 different kinds of tea. You become a short-order cook for every possible dietary need. And the whole time, you're playing this game of 4D chess with social etiquette. It's a full-on performance. This metaphor absolutely nails it. Your home, your sanctuary, your personal recharge station suddenly becomes a stage. And you're not just living there anymore. You are the star of the show, the director, and the stage manager, all rolled up into one, anxious burrito.
And the reason we put on this performance, it comes down to a really powerful social force called impression management. We are all hardwired to care what other people think of us. So suddenly your bookshelf, the art on your walls, even the state of the grout in your bathroom, it all feels like a reflection of you that's open for judgment. But you know what? It goes even deeper than just social anxiety. This discomfort you feel when you host, it actually taps into some of our most ancient primal instincts about safety, territory, and vulnerability. At our very core, we are territorial creatures. And your home, that is your ultimate territory.
It's your fortress. It's the one place in the world where you are in complete command. So inviting people inside means you are voluntarily lowering the drawbridge. And for a lot of us, no matter how much we love our guests, that feels instinctively threatening. This just gets right to the heart of it all. Your home tells a story. It's an autobiography that people can walk through. It says everything about your values, your history, your priorities. Letting someone see that isn't some small thing. It is an act of profound vulnerability. They are literally walking around inside a physical version of your personality.
You know, the incredible researcher Brené Brown, she defines vulnerability with 3 key elements: uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. Well, hosting is pretty much a perfect storm of all 3, isn't it? There's uncertainty about how it'll go, the risk of being judged, and the massive emotional exposure of your truest self. Check, check, and check.
Okay, so we've established why hosting can feel so incredibly hard. Now for the most important part. What on earth do we do about it? And here's a hint. The answer isn't to just force yourself to host more. It's to completely reframe the whole idea. Let's be real, a huge part of the pressure comes from this social media version of hosting, right? The staged photos, the perfect charcuterie boards. It's a whole production. But what if we compared that with what we could call self-aware socializing? Instead of a production, we aim for connection. Instead of pressure, we protect our energy.
And this is why meeting on neutral ground is a total game changer. What's the biggest benefit? You have an exit strategy. You are never, ever trapped in your own home. When your social battery starts to die, you can just leave. Your sanctuary stays safe, untouched, and ready for you to go back and recharge.
So let's be absolutely 100% clear about this. If you have been beating yourself up for years because you hate hosting, you can stop right now. Acknowledging that it drains you doesn't mean you're broken or you don't love your friends. It just means you understand your own psychological wiring. And this right here is the final, most powerful takeaway. Choosing to protect your energy, your peace, your personal space, that is not a selfish act. It is a profound act of self-awareness and self-respect. It's about knowing what you really need to show up as your best self in the world.
So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. If we can reframe our hatred of hosting from being a character flaw to just being a valid psychological preference, what other parts of our lives are we judging ourselves for needlessly? What else could completely change if we consistently chose self-awareness over self-criticism?